Are you guys ready to paint and to make your mark just like Vashti did in the book The Dot? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We are going to create a huge piece of art with all of the dots that our Burnham Woods Bulldogs make. They're going to be all hung in the hallway, and it is one of the most magnificent displays we do all year. So here's what you're going to have today to make your dot. This year we're going to try making our dots on paper plates. They're already a circle. They've got a little bit of texture for you to work with. Can you hear that texture? Texture is the way something feels, and you can feel the ridges in here. So it's got a neat little texture for us to work with. At the tables are going to be painting tools. Not all the tables are going to have the same things. They're going to have different things, and that's what is making these dots so neat as well. Some of them have these texture plates. This looks like AstroTurf. There are some rollers, different kinds of rollers. Some might have brushes. It just depends on what I put in the box that day. Your paint colors will change as well, because every day, each grade, or not each grade, but each day is going to do a different color combination. So on Monday, we're doing red and yellow and white. So I've got two primary colors here, plus white. And when I use my primary colors, it's gonna mix, and it's gonna make a new color. Ooh, I just put my finger in that. It's gonna make a new color. What color is it gonna make? Tell me. It'll make orange. So my two primaries are going to make the secondary color orange. So here's just an example of what you can do with your dot. I think I'm going to use a roller to begin with today. Now these are sponge rollers, so they're squishy. These also have a texture on them, but if you press really hard with it, you'll get a solid line. If you want the texture, you have to press lightly with it so that that sponge doesn't get pushed down. So I'm going to do my roller in my yellow. Kind of looks like ketchup and mustard, doesn't it? So I'm going to do my roller in my yellow, and then I'm going to roll around my paper here. Not my paper, but my dot. And I do want to make those lines going through my dot. You can do it however you want. Okay, so there's the beginning of it. Now I'm done with it, so I'm just going to put it right back in the box lid for somebody else at my table to use. I'm going to use this turf, and I'm going to dot it into the red to get the red on the edges. Now one thing we don't do with our paint, we don't ever do this, we don't take our paint and just mash it all together. That ruins a plate of paint for you. It ruins a plate of paint for your table mates, and they are not going to be happy with you. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it down and then turn it. Put it down and turn it. See, that makes those cool circles? Put it down and turn it. All right, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some white with it as well. So if you know anything about color mixing, if you have red and white, what is it going to make? It's going to make pink, and pink is a tint. When you add white to something, you get a tint. So I'm going to dip it in my white. See how it's changing those circles? That's cool. All right, so I'm done with this for right now, so I'm going to put it in my box. I think I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to dip it into my red, and I'm going to make this pattern in the middle, and then I think I'm going to go through to the outside as well. So play with it, come up with a neat design that you like. Notice when I'm using my brush, I'm going in one direction. I'm not going back and forth with it, because that's coloring. We don't color with brushes, we paint with brushes. So let's see, I got it between all of those. I'm going to take some yellow and put it in the middle here. I'm going to make some orange. So I'm going to use a little bit more to make some orange. And then I'm actually going to dot it. There we go. So I think This is pretty close. I'm pretty happy with this right now. I might just take white and dot the middle of that. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it kind of like this. You want to be, and I'm done with my brush, so I'm gonna put it back in the box. You want to be able to tell which dot is yours when they're all hung. Let me show you how you're not gonna be able to tell. I have one here. This dot, the colors that the person used this day were green and yellow and white. And what they did is they rolled it over and over and over, like they had a roller like this, and they just went over and 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 over. And if you do that, you're gonna get a solid color, and you're not gonna be able to tell that that's your dot hung in the hallway. You want to make your mark with your dot, just like Vashti did, and you want to be able to tell it is your dot. When you are done today, let me move these. Your plate of paint is going to go to the back counter. Your mat and your dot are going to go to the drying rack. So here, I'm going to take my mat and my dot to the drying rack, and I will help you put it onto the drying rack. And then we're going to let them dry. Mrs. Rucker and I will hang them all up when we are done. If there is paint on this mat, you are going to get a baby wipe. The baby wipes are kept on, whoops, I moved them for the video. The baby wipes are kept on here on my bookcase. Unless you're in kindergarten, I'll give you one. And then you need to wipe down your mat. Remember, when you wipe down your mat, you want to open it up and wipe like you're using a rag. You don't want to ball it up like this, because then you only have that much cleaning the mat. So wipe down the mat, get all your paint off, because the next person doesn't want your paint on the mat. Okay, I'm going to take my plate of paint and my mat, and I'm going to go put them away. So I'm walking. There's my dot on the drying rack. My mat goes right back underneath the mat sign. My plate of paint is going to go back over here where it says plates. This is for plates of paint right there. Please don't stack them, just set them there for me. When you are all done, you may get a book on the carpet, which means you sit on the carpet and you read. Okay, let's get started.